What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I want to talk about the expensive nature of the game and how it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You have a lot of folks who are constantly complaining about the fact that, oh, the game is too expensive, a lot of people won't come in, and yada, 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 right? Yet at the same time, if you were here in 2021, the game was super expensive to play at the higher levels, yet hype and FOMO were at their absolute highest. In fact, we haven't seen anything like that 2021 run ever since, right? In the past 2+ years that I've been here. So how do you like justify that or rationalize that in your head? I think what ends up happening, and granted, last time we were in a major bull run, we've obviously been in a larger extended bear market for the better part of the last 2 years. So the mindsets for people are just very different, right? There's a very kind of expansionary mindset previously, and then we've had a very contraction-based mindset over the past couple of years. But as we head into another potential bull run, I do wonder if the argument of the game being too expensive will once again shift to, well, that's actually going to be a good thing. And I'll tell you why. Because if the game is too expensive, it means that asset prices are rising, which means that people want to get in. They like seeing green numbers. Now, we can actually get into a very interesting kind of Goldilocks zone. And I've talked about this in the past, where cards right now are relatively cheap, right? If you want to buy a Chaos Legion core set, it's the cheapest that it's ever been. Or no, I shouldn't say that, but it's cheaper than it's been for most of the life of the set over the past, 2 or so years that it's been out. If you want to get Rebellion cards, you can. Are they expensive? Are they selling at a premium right on the market? They absolutely are, but you can buy the packs for $4 a pop, which is exactly the price that everybody else had to pay for their packs, right? So you got to play the RNG game, but at the end of the day, you're in the same boat as everyone else, right? Rather than back in 2021 where people were buying Untamed packs for $80+ when the original people were buying them from the store for $2, right? So imagine that 40x gain on those packs. It's kind of crazy. So as we look forward here, the Goldilocks zone is really about cards staying relatively cheap, but SPS going up. And SPS is a bit of a trickier one now, because while it is the reward token, it's also the access token in order to earn said rewards. Before, you didn't need to have SPS staked, right? So that wasn't part of like the quote-unquote investment that you needed in order to play and earn in the game. But if SPS went to the moon, right, the only barriers to entry would be cards. Well, now SPS is going to be the main barrier to entry for most people. And the reason I say this is because, like, okay, let's say this. Let's say SPS goes, between like 25 to 30 cents. Players in Champion are going to be earning $100 a day. $100 a day just from ranked play, right? Their reward chest and their battle SPS, not counting guilds, not counting tournaments or anything else. Just from ranked play, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing people pulling in $100 a day, which again, that's going to start attracting some attention. But in order to get that kind of 10x multiplier and Champion, right, which I think is like 400,000 SPS, if SPS is sitting at like 25 cents, that's $100,000 USD, right? $100,000 just in order to be able to earn that $100 a day. Right? People are going to look at that and say, is the APR worth it? Is it not? Whatever. But you're going to get a lot of people who will come into the game because they'll see the chance at earnings. They'll see asset prices rising. And similar to 2021, I do think you'll get a lot of, smaller, lower level players who will either rent cards to play at the higher levels or seek out scholarships, which could get really interesting considering, the Nifty partnership that happened. And I don't know what's going to happen with that, but, if the team is able to implement some like set rentals and things like that, it could make for a very interesting kind of scenario in which, once again, asset values going up, namely SPS, right? This is why I'm so big on SPS going to the moon, but namely SPS being the token that drives a lot of people into the game at a time when cards are relatively cheap. Now, if we get a bunch of people to come in, soak up all those cards, and the card values start rising, well, then all of a sudden we have on our hands a very similar situation to 2021, but even higher so because of the fact that it's not just the cards that are expensive, but you need that SPS. But you can earn that SPS by playing at the higher levels, and I do think we're probably going to see maybe major guilds come into the mix. You'll probably see a lot more scholarships get into the mix, because there are a lot of people who have way more than 400,000 SPS. I'm not one of them, right? But there are a lot of people with more than $400,000 worth of SPS, or 400,000 SPS, I should say, in general. And they probably have a bunch of extra cards too. So all those folks would then start seeing an opportunity here for new players to come in, play in Modern, set up those scholars. I was even doing this back in 2021, right, where I had a couple scholars playing for me. And if those scholars come in, they start earning, they're splitting the earnings. It's like $50 a day. Again, it starts to get pretty crazy. And this is why, like, I mean, $100 a day is a little outrageous. Although I'm not saying that we can't get there. But, you know, my magic number is 7 cents, because as soon as we get to 7 cents, all of a sudden players in Champion are earning $25 a day, which is the magic number that was in all of the PR that Axie Infinity did back in 2021, saying that, you know, players in the Philippines and other parts of the world are earning $25 a day. Now, maybe we need to get to like 14 or 15 cents, because then you can kind of split it 50-50, maybe with the, you know, the owner of the card, if you're a scholar, owner of the cards, right? So, but again, all I'm saying is that we're at 3.3 cents now. Now, to do another 2x from here, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, right? We literally have to double the market cap, double the value within the tokens, but we're burning a lot of SPS, which is great. And, you know, with all the initiatives that the team is set to launch, hopefully over the next year, whether it's land or whether it's kind of the new player experience, it could bring a lot of outside capital in, whether it's from new players or existing players, right? Land would be that thing for existing players, and whatever the new player experience stuff could actually bring in new players if we start to see some momentum build in SPS. But overall, that's kind of where I'm thinking about this whole thing, where it's just like, yeah, I know it's expensive. This is a very expensive game to play, or an expensive hobby, as many others have called it. But there is potential to earn, and the higher SPS goes, the higher the barrier of entry goes. It also signals to people that asset prices are rising and that scarcity is actually back on the menu. And that's not something that we've experienced for the past, you know, almost 2 years, ever since the launch of Chaos Legion. Everything has felt like it's been oversupplied. But if we start to see real scarcity, and I would make an argument that we're starting to see that scarcity with DEC, meaning that we are burning SPS for DEC now, I'm curious. I'm excited. Not just curious. I'm excited to see what happens if we start to see that scarcity for SPS, and maybe if SPS is successful, that scarcity for cards. But that is all I have in this video for you guys. Feeling a little bit bullish today, so I thought I'd share a little bullish kind of thought there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.